Hello and welcome to the Mary Boozer's RC channel, guys. It's a wonderful day here. We've been working on the airliner, getting some of the tail graphics put on, and I'm actually getting ready to film. I'm putting one side on so I can figure everything out, and then I'm going to film how I do it on the other side, because I know a lot of guys have been asking me about putting on Cali graphics, and this one, the tail graphic, is definitely a more challenging one, and so I did use the water method of putting it on, where you get the surface wet, you put the graphic on, and then you can move it to where you want it, and it definitely made my life a whole lot easier doing it that way on this one. Normally I'm and then you stick it on and it's there forever, but on this one, like I said, it definitely takes a little more patience to get that one just how it needs to be. Anyway, that's kind of the update on that. Tonight we have the UMX Timber here. I've always wanted this little airplane, and Horizon Hobby is doing their 12 days of Christmas sale, and this little guy was on sale for 99 bucks, and I just couldn't resist getting one. I know this is going to be the shortest unboxing in the history of Mary Boozer's channel, but that's just kind of how that's going to go. We are going to do a little test run tonight of some music that we want to have playing in the background. And I wanted to preference it before we start this for a second, that if it's super loud or anything, we're going to play it for a few seconds. You tell us, guys, if it's okay. We just want this real soft in the background just to kind of break up the quietness of the show. So, without further ado, we're going to turn that music on for a few minutes here just to let it kind of run. Lori is going to adjust it. You let us know in the comment section right now if it's crazy, whatever. We just want it real low-key in the background. So is it playing, Lori?
It's playing.
Okay. I can't see the comments right now because Lori has them off while we're doing this, but I want this to just be real soft, not to take away from anything, just to be playing in the background real quiet. So hopefully that works. We're always kind of testing, and unfortunately you got to be live to test some of these features, and this is one of them. So you got it on there now? You hearing it? Real quiet? So anyway, there you go. Subliminal music. Jeff, I can't talk right now. So how's everybody doing? Anybody fly anything new? People getting their SU-30s left and right. We actually have ours here. We are not going to unbox it, unfortunately, because we already put it together so we could go fly it. But, meh, you know, that's how things go there. Let's see, what else is new right now? I have the Gooniac Afterburner setting here, so we're going to try the Gooniac setup. We have tried the light burner already, and we want to do a comparison. We want to see what's up. We're going to try everything. So some people aren't hearing it yet, and what we're doing is we're starting real soft and working our way up, because we just want it to be quiet in the background. So not hearing anything. Haven't opened mine yet. Did you have to plug your headset in, maybe? Did you try that so you could turn the desktop audio up? Anyway, we're trying to figure out how that works. So, meh. Huh? You have a thought.
Yeah, just keep going.
Okay. Well, anyway, she's messing with the audio in the background. If we get it figured out, you'll hear it in a minute. We just didn't want it to be like, wham, and you guys be like, holy cow, that are wearing headphones right now or whatever else. We have also had a chance to get our Ascender out and play with that a little bit. We had a lot of fun with it. We are getting ready to go over to Papa's house because he has a wonderful little area of woods behind his house that we're going to go try and film these in. We haven't forgot about our sailboats either. We're actually planning on filming those Christmas Day because I'll be at my uncle's house, and he has a pond behind his house that we normally do our sailboats at, so they are coming also. And then I'm kind of wanting to do an introductory airplane video out of these two. So I've got some of these smaller airplanes. These are a lot easier to get into for a lot of guys that can't afford the $500 jets. So, I mean, I've got the Duet ready to fly over here. Lori's very first ever airplane was the Duet, and it was great. It's 3-channel, real simple. And I want to do kind of a review of that as an introduction to RC airplanes for guys that are on a little bit more limited budget wanting to try it. This plane's like $65, ready to go with the battery, the charger, the controller, everything. And then this is a staple of the RC hobby for newer people also, the Hobby Zone Champ. I think everybody needs to own one of these at least once. It's a ball to fly. Super easy. And the other thing that got released this week that I know some of you have seen, and if you haven't, tanks. Tanks are officially here from Motion RC. I am so excited to see everybody get tanks and start customizing and pimping them out. I know here at the Boozers channel, I'm going to get a few of them. And I plan on doing full weathering and everything. And I'm going to try my hardest to film what I can on the weathering stuff. A lot of you guys used to love the weathering videos we were doing. And it's not that we don't want to do them still. It's just finding time and everything else we're doing. But we're definitely going to do some more weathering. Anyway, have you figured it out, Miss Lori?
What?
Have you figured out the music by any chance?
Not yet.
I'm just curious. She's still working on it over there. But anyway, that's kind of what's going on there. Yeah. Let's see, what's going on? Bummer Mitchell. It's tough as nails, Wayne. I'm just going to check the comments right now, see if there was anything I've missed. That's half of the fun of this, is reading all of you guys' comments as we're playing along here in the chat. But yeah, like I said, we got to do some of the ground vehicles. Me and Miss Boozer went out and we drove. This is actually her truck, so she was driving this one around, and I was driving my SCX-10 up there. We just always have a good time when we go out and play with them in the yard. The weather's been kind of crappy in Florida the last week or so, very windy. Not temperature-wise, it's still beautiful here in Florida, but as far as just, it's been drizzly and rainy and yeah. Like I said, the music thing we're still trying to figure out, Papa, and we'll get it figured out eventually. Crank it up a little bit. Go half on it. Now it's pumping down there. Maybe that's working. Oop. Anyway, we'll figure out the music thing in a minute. It'll get here when it gets here. Oh, I saw it. I'm still reading everything. You know, the light burner. Let's see, Ron Groomer, I believe that's his name. I always butcher it, but he's got his light burners in on his SU-30. Sent me a little video and picture of that today, and it looked great. Figured it out?
Got music in
the background. Look at that. And it's, all right, guys, so we got the music in. It's not too overpowering, is it? What I don't want is for you to not be able to hear us because of the music. We just want it soft in the background. Should just be a nice, light, easy going thing, you know. Blah, blah, blah. So hopefully they sound okay, and we'll change it up from week to week. We're trying to figure out exactly how it works. Is it still working? I don't see it moving anymore.
I just have to keep replaying it.
Oh, it doesn't just loop?
No.
Oh, that stinks. We gotta figure out how to do that. Well, anyway, let's get to the meat and the potatoes of this. Lori's working on the music in the background. We just wanted something cool with that. So without further ado, Lori, let's get to the top shot for a second and look at the top box art of this airplane. Oh, music's gone. It's okay. So anyway, she's figuring that out. It's a learning process as always, guys. Beautiful box art. The airplane itself, just to grab this for a second. I mean, there's some of the specs. If you want to pause this and try and read it, there's a bazillion of them. I've actually had several of these UMX planes and loved each of them. My favorite one I've ever had is the UMX Pitts. It was a wonderful aircraft. So this has got AS3X technology in it and safe. I don't normally use safe, but it's a wonderful feature for guys that are newer to learn how to fly with. But you can always turn it off and have a great time. And I have actually flown this airplane with the floats on it, and it was a ball. And I cannot wait to get the float set for mine and take it out to the pond and run around. The nice thing with this small airplane is you don't have to worry about having a huge area to fly it in. This little guy flies off anything. And this is classified as a park flyer because of how light it is. So your AMRA rules change a little bit with this one also. Now, before we get all the way into the unboxing, Lori, would you mind throwing the product page up for a second so we can show guys the product page. I don't believe this is still on sale.
Actually.
No, it's not the $99. So it was $99 a few nights ago, and that's why I picked it up then. But here it is it's back to normal price, I believe, of, what is it, $119 or something? $129, there you go. Which is still a great price for this little airplane, guys. What you will need to complete it is a controller that's DSMX, so you're going to need a Spectrum radio. And you're going to need your small 2S LiPo for this. I have the Venom packs that I've been using in mine for forever, and the nice thing about these UMX planes is the price. The batteries for it, I think I paid $20 for the 2-pack of Venom 75C batteries for this thing, which were great. So, yep, there you go, $129 as you see it. I thought it came with the floats, because it actually shows the floats in the picture. It does not come with the floats, just so you guys know. It's the same floats that go to the Super Cub from the little planes. But this does come with all the lights on it. You get the front lights, just like the big Timber. You get the front lights, you get the nav lights, and strobes on this one, and they are super bright. So, super awesome. Land it anywhere, fly it anywhere kind of plane. It's got the big wheels on it. It's going to be awesome, guys. I know it will, because I've flown one before. And that's why when I saw it go on sale, I was like, I got to have it. Because I love my big Timber. But this one, I mean, we go to the beach or whatever else, I can take this airplane with me and fly it, because it's an ultra micro. So you have different restrictions with these than with a big one. You can safely fly this, you know, a lot of other places that I would not fly one of my big airplanes. So that's kind of the fun thing. Yep. Floats are $19.99 for this airplane. Like I said, they are the floats off of the Super Cub. Same ones. They're silver. I'll probably paint mine white just to match the airplane. But yeah. Let's see. GB Linden saw it a short time ago. Yeah, it was part of the sale they were doing for the 12 days of Christmas. The 12 sales of Christmas from Horizon Hobby right now. And like I said, guys, this is a very inexpensive airplane that's a lot of fun, but as far as batteries and that kind of thing, the UMX line is great for guys that can't go to a big AMA field every time. These are legal to fly almost anywhere as far as parks and things go, and you don't have to worry about hurting somebody with it. They do have an F-16 that I have had. F-16 flies great. I never flew the A-10. Always wanted to, but never had a chance at that one. I've done the, the GB flew really good to me. Actually, I was very surprised with the GB how easy it was to fly. I don't have a lot of those airplanes anymore to review for you guys. It was before the channel started kicking off. I sold all my UMX planes to start buying camera equipment and other stuff. And I miss them. They were a lot of fun, but now I've got airliners and all kinds of stuff. But at the price, I couldn't resist it, and I had to jump on this one. So, without further ado, let's get it out of the box. Let's do the shortest unboxing of all time on the Mary Boozers channel. Da-da-da! Let's see. I think it opens from the other side. So, it's going to be upside down for a second. Dun, 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 dun. And I have peeked in just to look at it to make sure everything was okay. Whew. Almost knocked the TV over right there. So, here's how the planes come. Never throw your UMX airplane boxes away, because you can store your airplane in it when you're going to the field, and you don't have to worry about tearing the little guy up, because you just put it right back in the box. So, over here in the box, you do get a little bag of spare parts. You get the screws that will have to be put on for the wheels. They don't come on it right out of the box, and I know a lot of people forget to put those in. These are your leading edge slats right here for the front of the wings. They are optional to glue on, like the big Timber. Basically, if you have a big Timber, this is the same airplane, just a lot smaller. So I have untaped this already, but you pull this off, and then you can get your airplane out of your box. So, let me move this box out of the way. Once again, shortest unboxing ever. Let me slide that right over there. I should have got the big Timber out for size comparison. But let's go top shot again for a second, Lori. Alright guys, so here we have the airplane out of the box. Beautiful little paint job on it, all the stickers. I mean, it looks just like the big one, but, you know, it's tiny. Doesn't weigh hardly nothing. Let's see here if I can flip this over. Can you zoom in for me, by any chance? I was going to show these guys this top part real quick here. This is the piece I was talking about. They come, let's see, she's going to zoom us in for a second here.
Where are we going, right?
Right there, that's great. So, right here, guys, the screws don't come put in for the landing gear out of the box, and I've seen a lot of guys that the landing gear fall off really easy. It's because they're just spring-loaded in there. You've got to put your little clips on. So if you decide to get one of these, be mindful of that. You just push these together, push that down in there, and maybe, if I can do it now, voila. So don't forget to put your clips in if you decide to get one of these. You do get the little Tundra tires, and they work well. I mean, this thing will roll over anything. It's hilarious. The battery hatch is a top loader. So one thing I like about this one already better than the big Timber is that it's a top loader battery hatch. So a lot easier to put your batteries in here. If you haven't seen one of the UMX planes before, it's actually really amazing. Look at, let's see, trying to get it to focus. That little brushless motor. You've got the lights up there in the nose. And then there's your receiver and the servos all up in there for the tail. Timothy Toutant, Merry Christmas. Thank you very much for that super chat. I'll give y'all another shot here from the front. Tires look kind of funny, how they hang down like that, but you can see they have a lot of give. You're not going to have to worry about tearing these things up, really. I mean, the plane weighs so little. It does have, like I said, your nav lights right there on the wings. Right out of the box. This is exactly how it comes. You don't got to put nothing together. Nav lights.
And you can fit it in your car.
You can fit it in your car. You can fit this on the back of your moped. There's one of the little servos if you haven't seen a UMX servo before. This does also have flaps. The flap servo is actually inside of the airplane, but it does have full flaps. I mean, guys, for the price, you get a really nice airplane for, I mean, not a lot of money. And then there is the other nav light for the tail, and there is one on the top, like that, right there. So yeah, there you go, guys. Funny, the shortest unboxing of all times. Is there any other questions? Have you guys wanted to see anything here? There's tape hinges on all of the control surfaces, and you can see they have little carbon spars in there for supporting the tail. Some of the earlier models didn't have that, and these broke really easy. Not on the Timber, but some of the other UMX planes. They really beefed it up on this airplane. They knew guys were going to be flying this on lakes and ponds, and it's funny to have an airplane that can fit on the whole screen. But yeah, anyway, let's see. I'm going to set this down for just a second, guys, and run around the corner and get my big Timber. I should have had it out here already. I'll be right back. Let me grab it. Sorry, talk to the peeps.
Hi, peeps.
Alright. Okay.
Here he comes.
I'm going to break on the way in there,
He said fly it, Wesley.
though. Right? I almost could in here. Alright. Front view. Let's see. Whoops, I don't know what I just knocked down. But there you go, if you wanted to know how big it is. Here is the full-size Timber.
Don't run over your little car.
Oh no! There's too much crap on the table right now. But if you were ever curious what the difference between a micro, if you haven't seen them actually in person. Yes, ma'am?
Do the lights flash, or are they strobe?
Or
Or are they fixed?
The wingtips actually have a red solid and they have a white flashing. I don't know if I have a battery right now for this. Like I said, I sold all my old UMX planes. Let me see if I can turn them on real quick. It's made for a LiPo, but I have a 2S lithium ion. 22, no, that won't work. I have a LiPo somewhere. Hang on a second.
Someone answered to half the lights are solid.
Yeah, half of them flash, and they are crazy bright. I was trying to see if by any chance I have a 2S LiPo sitting around here somewhere. What?
Is your big timber discontinued?
This model of the big timber is, yes.
Oh, you say that new Timber X or whatever.
Yeah, there's the Timber X now, and the I forget what the other one is. Well, I don't.
Turbo Timber.
Turbo Timber, that's the new version. Yep. They're the same airplane, guys, with a different nose on them and a different wing. So yes, this timber is discontinued now. Now it's the Turbo Timber. It has a pointier nose, and then it's got a 4S motor right out of the box. So you can't go wrong with any of them. But this is the same paint job, so I wanted to show the same plane. You know what I mean? I have flown some of the other timbers. The Turbo Timber and this timber are still my favorite. But the 3D Timber I wasn't a huge fan of. It's not bad. It's just when I go to fly a STOL plane, I want a STOL plane. Not a 3D plane, but it's not a bad airplane by any means. Don't get me wrong. But if you were curious, you could probably take this off. A little challenge, maybe. Get me a challenge here. Take it off of the wing of the real timber. The big timber.
That would be hilarious.
I think I could get it off. That'd be funny, right?
That would be pretty funny.
Alright, challenge accepted. We're going to make that happen. Take the little timber off of the big timber.
You're going to start a timber challenge.
Timber challenge. And you know, guys, the timber, I've loved this airplane. I have probably flown this timber more than any airplane I own. With all the jets and everything else. I always come back on windy, crappy days. The timber will take off in 2 feet. It doesn't care what kind of runway you have. It's very forgiving. One thing I did do, I had the leading edge slats on my timber. I ended up taking them off. I kind of like the way it flies better without the slats on the leading edge. It's really good for slow flight, but the roll rate really suffers with the leading edge slats on. And every once in a while, I like to do a knife edge with my timber or whatever else. And it just suffered a lot having the leading edge slats on. Now, if all you're going to do is STOL, put them on there. It definitely makes a difference on slow flight of the timber. Now, I don't know how much it's going to really be effective on the little guy, but I'll probably try it with them on and off both. I am officially challenged to take off and land on the wing. I don't know about landing on it, but we can try it, whatever. I'll probably have to set it on,
How well are your skills?
Set it on the hood of a car to get it flat like that. That'd be fun, though. I could definitely take off of it. I have no question in my mind that I could take off on the wing, but whether or not I could land on it, whoo, that'd be tight. That'd be really tight. But yeah, guys, what do you think of the little timbers? Do any of you guys have it? I know this was a really hot airplane when they came out, and I know I'm late to the party. It's just, I never got one. I flew a bunch of friends' little timbers. I loved it. I just never jumped on it, but I couldn't resist it when they were on sale, and I had to have one, so that's how it is. The colors are a little different, actually. I didn't realize it when I looked at the box. But the little timber actually has orange lightning bolts, whereas the big timber has red lightning bolts all over it. So, little difference there if you have a big timber or little timber and you wanted to know. But like I said, if I could only have one airplane for my crummy weather days, where I don't want to fly an airliner or a jet or whatever, the timber is my go-to. Just go have fun, don't care, plane. And everybody should have one of those. Just an airplane that it gets a ding in it. Oh well. And the timber has lights and strobes and everything. The little timber, if you have a big timber, has the exact same lights that are on the big one. And I can turn on the big one, except I just realized that Wesley's controller is still broken, so I can't turn my radio on. If y'all didn't know about that, I had my IX12 sitting on the bench the other night charging, went to pick it up, forgot it was plugged in, and ripped the charging port right out the side of it. So it has to go back to Spectrum, unfortunately. I actually have to send it into Horizon Hobby and get it repaired. And I'm terrified to see what that bill is going to cost. But, because I don't think that's going to be covered by warranty. But, at least that's all it broke, because it ripped it out of my hand and I dropped it. And oh, it just made me sick to my stomach when that happened. So, I needed an iX20 anyway. So we might as well just go on and get that. Right, Lori? She's looking at me like, But anyway, there you go. The big Timber. This airplane's huge, too. For size comparison, once again, there they both are. If you were curious, guys, the difference between UMX and the big one. And there's quite a bit of difference in weight on these two. This little guy doesn't weigh anything. But with AS3X, it doesn't get tossed around really bad. Let me see here. Make me a window. It really doesn't get tossed around in the air on a windy day, though. So anyway, I'm going to move the big Timber off to the side now. But just wanted to show it since I had it. So, any questions thus far that I've missed? No? Lauren? Now, the one thing that did change is when I ordered this, it was $99, but it's under the $100 free freight. So you ended up paying $8 for freight on it. So I don't know how big the saving really was on that versus just buying it at the normal $119 or whatever it is, $130. I forget how much it is. You saved like $20 when they had the sale, so because you had to pay the shipping. That's always the funny part, because you don't technically make it. If they made it $100 instead of $99, you'd get free shipping on it. So 610 times, 10 days the other. Anyway. Let's see. Try them, fly them both together that way. Usually fixes things you send in either really cheap or for free. The RC Air Marshal, he puts in that. We actually sent my dad's DX8 in, and I don't think it was but like $80, and they put a whole new antenna in it and a bunch of other stuff. So, I don't know. Yeah, it just, it irked me. I'll show you what I did. Why not, since we're right here? We're about to find out together. I'm going to keep you guys updated on my whole experience with repairing a controller, because some of you guys might be curious what it takes to fix one of these. So I'm printing out the paperwork tonight. I'm going to stick it in the mail tomorrow, and we're going to see how long it actually takes to get your radio serviced and repaired at Horizon Hobby. I'm going to let you know what it costs to do this. Why not, right? You guys are here for RC stuff, but let me show you what my damage is to my radio so far. I'm going to set our little guy off to the side here. Still can't wait to fly that. I've always had a good time. I'm going to probably go out in like a forest and fly it through trees and all kinds of stuff because they're just so much fun. So, anyway, IX12 for a second. Top shot from me just for a second, Lori. Love the IX12. When it first came out, it did have some issues that I weren't a fan of. The boot time, whatever. The firmware, when it first came out, it booted up really slow. It would kill a battery in about 4 days. There was a lot of things I didn't like, but I knew if I gave it a little time, this was only going to get better, and it has. It's gotten a lot better. Now I only have to charge it about once a month, and I put it in deep sleep between going to the field. I do not turn it off. I can still walk up and hit it one time, and it turns on instantly. It won't do it right now because it has a completely dead battery, because I took the battery out because I'm getting ready to ship it. We'll talk about it though for a second. You guys have been curious about it. I've actually lived with this radio now for about a year, and I'll give you the good, bad, and the ugly real quick since I've got one. On the IX12, changing airplanes takes forever. On any other radio like a DX9 or a DX6 or whatever you have, DX anything, you hit your two buttons, you scroll down to your airplane, you hit it, and you're there. On the IX12, you have to hold a button up here in the corner. I can't turn it on, like I said, to show you this right now. And I will probably do another video of this in the future, but we're here, guys. Let's talk about it. You hold the button, you hit OK. Then it brings up your list of airplanes. You scroll down to the airplane you want, you click on it, and then you wait about a minute to a minute and a half for it to load up your airplane. So changing airplanes on this radio takes somewhere around a minute to a minute and a half. That is one weak feature that I would really like to see them update. I think one thing they got wrong on this radio is I would like them charged us $50 more for this radio and put a better processor in it. Things just happen kind of slowly on it. Your tap response is a little slow, and I would have liked them to get that a little better. Now, I've heard on the IX20, it's really fast, it's really excellent in all those regards. But for $600, I wish they would have just gone on ahead and put a little better processor in this radio. That would be my biggest downfall with it. Battery life, I can usually, when I was at Joe Knoll, I was flying all day. I mean all day. And I'd get done at the end of the day and still have 40% radio left, and that's with my screen on pretty much the entire day, binding up to new airplanes, fiddling with models and everything. I mean, if you're really, that was really cranking on this radio during that day. And I was still getting all the way through the day with about 40% left. Josh Weaver RC, thank you so much for the super chat. Josh, I know I've been trying to pop in on your show a little bit here and there. He's got a great live show, one of the best green screens I've ever seen. Give him a quick shout out there, guys. If you haven't checked out his channel, he's doing awesome stuff. Eventually, we're going to have old Josh on the Boozer's channel as a guest. Anyway, so that's kind of what's going on there. But to get back to what's actually wrong, I put the piece in this little bag so I wouldn't lose it. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na. Anyway, I'm kind of a nerd if y'all didn't know that either. No, excuse me, cat. Anyway, this is a micro USB port. You know, like you'd get on an Android phone, whatever. Well, I'm trying to get it to focus. If you pick up your controller while it's plugged into the wall and rip the controller charger out of it, the little piece comes following out with it. And just to let you know, that's another, I wouldn't say weak spot, but I've ripped it out of the wall many times with my phone and never had it come out of the phone. But yeah, my little charger port, she's died. So anyway, just to let you know that. Oh, and then one of my little rubbers fell out. These little rubber backs. So I'm going to see if they'll go on and replace that for me too. But if you've ever been curious, this is the IX12. Here are the selectors on the back. You've got roller knobs. I love to put my flaps here. It's just really convenient when you're flying to not have to reach way up here, because you can still have your fingers on the sticks and do your flap settings here, and then you have infinite adjustment for your flaps instead of just 3 positions. And there is actually still 3 positions. You have all the way up, and then when you get to halfway, it beeps at you, and then when you're at full, you get it. And you do have 2 of those sliders, so it's kind of nice. Brakes, it's nice because you can have proportional brakes on one side if you ever do brakes. I know a lot of guys don't do that. You still get your roller switch and all your standard switches everywhere else that you're used to. And then it has really, really nice gimbals on the IX12. I know we weren't supposed to do a review of this tonight, but, you know, things happen. I'm one of those typical old men. I've never taken the plastic off of my IX12. So this still has the plastic all around. Lori's laughing at me. So typical old man there. I've still got my protective plastic on everything. I've really tried to take good care of this thing. But, oh no, he lost his rubber. I hate it when the rubber falls off. All those kind of comments. I knew they would be coming. Dang it. But anyway, oh, that's what's going on with the IX12 right now, guys. I do want to do one night Also talking about all the features and things that I know of now after living with one. You know, basic setup on an airplane. You can go back to the front view. Or a both, I don't care. Just kind of the basic features and things of this radio. I really have enjoyed having the IX12, and I'm very thankful that Lori got it for me for Christmas. But I know you guys want to hear the honest opinions on things like this. If I could go back and do it again, you have to really want this screen for the extra $200. If you just want the Mac Daddy radio, I'd actually recommend a DX9 over this. DX9 Black. It's a phenomenal radio. You don't have that for horrendously long time to switch models. So is this radio worth $200 more than a DX9? No. But do you want to have the touchscreen? I'm a sucker for that kind of stuff, and I love having the touchscreen. I'm not super impatient, so I didn't mind waiting a little bit, changing my airplanes. Navigating the menus is really nice, having a full screen, you know, touching it. It's just like running your iPad or your iPhone or whatever. That part of it, it's super intuitive. Wing types, when you're selecting your flaps and that kind of stuff, is super, I'm trying to think of the word. It's nice. It shows a picture of where the servos go and what you're changing, and for your mixes, you can see them all on the screen. I love that feature of it. But do I think everybody's going to want that for the extra? Without looking right now, I think the DX9 Black is like 4 something, and then this is 6 something. Lori can look it up for me here in a second. But a guy like my dad, he looks at my radio and thinks, you know, and I know that he would be just as happy going from his DX8. He's got the old silver one. There's one around here somewhere because Lori's got one too. But going to the DX9 Black, you have the talking feature. You can do everything this can do except for this does custom voice. And then this one has a hookup to where you can plug your headphones into it. I've never done it yet. It's at the bottom. There's a headphone jack because you can technically download music on it and be playing music and all that kind of stuff on here too. Oh, another thing that drives me crazy on here. I wish they would have set it up to where the timer came up as just a beep. So when you go throttle up, beep, and it stay on, and when it gets done, it counts down. But no, it goes timer off, timer on, timer off, timer on, and you guys have heard it. It drives me crazy. Here we go. Lori product page. Since we're talking about this now too. So the IX12 is $629. There you go.
The one with that special AM whatever or something.
Huh?
There's another one too. Hang on. Let's
Okay, hang on. She's on Spectrum's website right now since we're talking about it.
There's one with an AR9030T.
Oh, that one comes with a receiver.
Ah.
So
Okay, so
the radio by itself, here we go. This is just the radio. So it's $629. So it's a great radio, guys, if you've been drooling over one. I wish I could have got the custom color. That didn't exist whenever I did mine. The colors weren't any other options to get it. But, like I said, 9 channels is more than enough for most people. You'll have all the features you want. The 12 channels, I've never come close to using all 12, but it's the only way to get this. And I don't see them making a DX or an IX8 or an IX6. I think the only way you're ever going to get a touchscreen is the 12 at the minimum. And as much as I'd love to have a 20, I think it's $1,300. It's crazy. Now, if you fly jets that are $4,000 and whatever else, yeah, okay, I could see buying a $1,300 radio. But for my foamies, this is like top of the line foamy territory, I would say. $1,400, there you go. But look up a DX9 Black real quick on their website.
Working on it.
Since we're talking about it, guys, hey, you know, I didn't mean for this to go this long tonight, but we're into it now, so we're in the weeds. Let's do it.
There we go.
So this would be the radio I would recommend. If you want the one radio to get and not have to buy anything else, until the next generation of Spectrum, whatever comes out. This would be the radio I would really recommend. I have not personally owned one, but I have seen them. They're awesome. You get the better gimbals in it. It runs just like any other Spectrum airware that you'd be used to. It's a wonderful radio, guys. And the price, I think for what you get for the price is a phenomenal deal on this. For a Spectrum radio, I know you could go, whatever it's called, Tyrannus and all that other stuff, but I don't want a Tyrannus because I can't bind straight to this. I'd have to buy a module to put in the back of it, and then I could bind to that. But I fly a lot of Horizon Hobby products, and they all come with, you know, your Spectrum airware in it. Now, that all being said, since we're down the rabbit hole, for a guy that just wants to get base model, right here, this was the first radio I ever bought. Still a great radio. I have put a wrap on mine, but top shot for just a second, zoomed in, top shot. Since we're down the rabbit hole here, this is a DX6E. For about the first 2 years that I got back into the hobby, I ran with the Spectrum DX6E. And I loved this radio. It was great. The gimbals on it are really nice. You've got, you know, all the same switches and things you need. The only problem with the 6 is that on some of the Safe Select airplanes, you need an extra channel, and that's where the problem with the 6 is. But they do make an 8 now. But this radio, if you don't care about safe, will do anything you ever want to do. Flaps, gear, all the normal stuff. You can do it with this radio. And this radio is like 140 bucks. Now, that all being said, my one downfall with the DX6E is the little tray back here pops out for you to put a LiPo in here. And you can hook a LiPo up to it, but you can't turn the radio off if you put a LiPo in it. What the heck? That was the crux of this one to me. Now, I've heard that in the 8, you can put a LiPo in it and turn it off. But something about this, there's a whole form on it. If you plug a LiPo in and you go into the settings and put LiPo, you can not turn the radio off. So you have to unplug the LiPo every time or put a switch on the LiPo. So if you get one of these, just expect to only use AA batteries in it. I got some rechargeable batteries and I was fine with it. But that was part of the living with this. I ran it for about 1.5 years, 2 years, what was it? Something like that, until Lori got me the IX-12. This was a great radio. There's nothing wrong with it. But it's one of those things, I'd rather you know it now than later. And I do eventually, I'm going to put one of these stickers on here. This is a graphic set of stickers for the radio. They've got these on eBay for like 15 bucks. And you can spice up your radio. But this is my backup right now. I'm going to send this one off, so if it takes a little while, I never got rid of this radio because I said, what if I ever break my radio and I need a backup? Well, I've got it right here. I can throw some batteries in it and go. The other reason I kept this is if somebody wanted to buddy box with me, this and this link straight up to each other, and I can master and slave with these two radios. So I always kept it as my... you know, somebody comes and wants to fly, you hand them this, they're like, ooh, this is nice, this is fancy. They don't know that it's not that big. Are there any huge advantages? So we're going to look at Jordan Dole's question. Are there any huge advantages to the DX9 over a DX8? Don't think I've ever needed more than 8 channels. I have a DX6 right now. Well, the one thing I like on the DX9 Black is you get a, if I remember correctly, the Black has a better gimbal set in it. I believe it uses the same gimbal set that's in the 12, which are the, what do they call it, Holofax, something. Anyway, if you feel the gimbal in this versus this gimbal set is a lot smoother than in the cheaper radio. Other than that, I don't know of much more that comes in the DX9 versus the DX8.
Here, I've got this.
But Lori's got the product page. We can double check it to you. The DX6 was a great radio also. I actually have, well, this is a DX6, but this is the E. The DX6, the big difference between the 6 and the E is that the 6 can use lipos. So if you've got the coin and you want a 6, I would recommend getting the 6, just the 6. I know this gets confusing with spectrum of all the different radios, but if you get the 6E, expect to only use AA batteries and you lose a few features. The DX6 you can use lipos in. Anyway, I use the DX6 as my buddy box radio now, and the DXE collects atmospheric contaminations. You know, it's funny talking to that. I haven't used this one in forever, but like I said, when my IX12 was down, I'm going to be flying off of this one now. And it's still a great radio. There's nothing wrong with the cheaper radios, guys. Just because I have a 12 doesn't mean I actually needed it. It's because I wanted it. Let's be real honest here. I can fly everything I own off of this, with the exclusion of the F-15 because I have an air brake.
The 9 has adjustable stick link.
There you go. The DX9 has adjustable stick link. Length. But a lot of radios actually have that also. It's if you want it. I'm telling you, the 9 is really just the top of the range. And like I said, you should never need anything higher than that unless you just want it. I know some of the jet guys and the big warbird guys use the 20 channels for all the gun turrets and stuff, but in realistically, 9 is all the channels you could ever need for foam flying airplanes, guys. The nice thing is you could have a channel for your lights. Say you didn't want your lights on all the time. You could actually plug them into a separate channel and turn the lights on and off. Flaps, gear, and that's where you get up into those channels. If you wanted to have it where you could turn the landing light on with a switch instead of it with the gear, you could do that by having the other channels. And that's where you start breaking it down to needing more channels. Glider tow, things like that. That's where you get into having more channels. But for the majority of us, 8 is actually probably sufficient. But it's nice to have that 9th channel if you ever need it. If you wanted to have guns, like gun sounds, that takes up a channel to make that gun sound, because you'll have your soundboard and then you have that switch to make it go ticka 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 ticka. So that's where you get into that. Anyway, went down that rabbit hole, but so you know, I'm going to do the paperwork for this right after the show, and this is going to go in the mail tomorrow. And I will give you a status report next Sunday if it's back and how the process goes. Because I want you guys to come along with us to know if you haven't ever sent something in to get repaired. We're going to find out together what it's like. Technically, I need to send this one in for repair too. I lost a switch on it, but I dropped it and broke a switch off. I might try and fix that myself though. It's just technically I was flying a drone and the dog got really excited and jumped up and grabbed it out of my hand, and that was the end of this switch right here on this one. But you know, I wish they all came with the roll dial. Yeah, I know that the roll dials only come on the higher models. The 6E and I believe the 80 both don't have a roll dial. I'm not a huge fan of the roll dial, to be honest, Dennis. I don't like having to reach up here where top shot for a second. The problem I have with the roll dial on the IX20. No top shot?
No, sorry.
Let me discuss this for a second. The thing I don't like about a roll dial, so I'm flying like this. I have to take and physically go up here and find this, and now I'm not flying the airplane. This is why I'd never have liked where they put a roll dial on this thing, because look at it. You have to go up here in funky ways to hit that thing. You know, it's not something you'd ever think of. Now, they used to put the roll dial right here, and I liked that better because I could reach up and spin it with my finger. But on the newer Spectrum radios, they either put it over here by this, the button for this. See, I can reach that no problem one-handed. But the roll dial, it's up here, and I mean, you're fighting to bear claw your way up to that thing. So I don't like that. Now, I believe the 9 Black has this option too, and this might be the part that sells you on it. See these right here? These are also roll dials on both sides. And that I love, because I can fly and reach back there and hit that with my finger, and I never have to take my hands off the triggers, or whatever you're calling them, the gimbals. That is what I love on I believe the 9 Black has this. Check that real quick, Lori, if you've got that page up. See if the 9 Black has these, because I believe it does. I think that's the big feature on the Black, is you get these back things. But I love having this back here, because you can assign your flaps to that. Yep, so the 9 Black has these also. That was the other thing. I don't believe the 8 has these. I think that you have to get to the 9 to get these on the back. Guniac, man, thank you very much. I got your Afterburner sitting right here. We were going to discuss it maybe tonight, but I am definitely getting ready to put it in the E-Flite F18, guys. I am getting ready to film Afterburners galore here. But we're going to be filming an installation video of this. I know you guys have seen it on a bunch of other guys' channel. What I want to do is a really good, comprehensive installation video. They're all pretty similar. Let's whip it out of the bag real quick. Excuse me while I whip this out. Hey, if you haven't seen one though, pull it out real quick here. I'm not going to undo all my wires and everything, but top shot for a second. Anyway, that goes with the IX12 Fiasco. So now you know what's going on there. Keep this little guy from rolling away. Let's talk Guniac for a second. So I got my Guniac Afterburner. I have not had a chance to even plug it in yet, but the quality is fantastic. Here it is, in all its glory, as Papa Boozer would say, if anybody was here for that video. Just to give you a quick little walk around, one thing I like is he has an on-off switch on his. His competitor does not have that. So there is an on and off switch. You get your board, and then you have the balance lead that you're going to plug into your battery, and then this is going to be Y-harnessed off of your throttle channel. I could probably hook this up right now. I haven't actually tested it. But I don't know right now. So what's going on, everybody? I'm still trying to catch up to the chat. I have a second though, Black. Hey, you know, guys, what's your thoughts on? Can you pull up Motion RC real quick, and let's look at tanks for a second. Yeah. Let's get everybody's thoughts on the tanks. Have you seen them? Have you been under a rock and not seen them? Anyway, Guniac, we're super excited to try this out. Thank you so much, brother. We cannot wait to review it. I want to put it head to head. Let's see whose is brighter, all that kind of stuff. So it's going to be awesome. Thank you, Guniac. So let's talk tanks for a second here. Well, let's see. That's kind of awkward on that screen. I don't know how to do that.
Give me just a second. I'll get this figured out.
Lori's going to adjust some things first. I don't think it would be correct to show Motion RC products on a screen that says Horizon Hobby all over it. So we're going to work that for just a second to smooth that off to a different thing. You know that we don't, hey, we love Motion RC, we love Horizon Hobby, we love all of them. But I also don't want to mix all the brands together on the screen. That kind of looks weird. Anyway, Lori's working on it right now on her magic. Don't forget you have Horizon Hobby down there underneath it too. Anyway, we're trying to do all this. It's crazy. It's crazy. Technology is a wonderful thing. We really hope y'all are enjoying the show. We need to figure out, at least we figured out how to put the music in now. We need to figure out how to loop it. But it doesn't seem like the music was bothering any of you guys as we had it on a minute ago. Anyway, so that's how that is. I really do like both of these radios. I mean, neither one of these is going to be a bad choice, guys. The radios that come with that suck. Giving you that FYI right now. I would recommend, if you're going to buy one of these little ready-to-fly UMX planes like the Timber or the Champ. I don't actually think the Timber, you can buy it with the controller in it, ready to fly. But like the little Aranca Champ, that thing's been around forever. It's a fantastic airplane, a lot of fun. But the radios that came in those things suck so bad. You don't have any fine. If you try and fly them with fine, minute details, they're just all over the place, and they're terrible. So I would really recommend you getting a bind and fly in any of these airplanes, except for the Duet. The Duet flies pretty good on the standard radio, and it's the only way you can fly that one. If you decided to get a Duet after watching the thing tonight, the Duet cannot be bound up to a Spectrum radio. It has to use the provided radio. It's not a bad airplane. It's not bad, but you just expect it's a $68 airplane ready to go, which, while Lori's getting everything else set up, let's pull the Duet out for a second. You get another little surprise unboxing here. Let's pull this little guy out. For anybody that's got kids and they're wanting to get them their first airplane, this thing is almost unkillable. I've seen them hit the ground a bunch and they don't die. So if you have kids at home that you're kind of curious about getting them flying, and since I got it out, I need to pull the batteries out of the controller anyway. Hopefully they're not already corroded.
Yeah, it's been a little while since I flew that thing.
Oh yeah, the batteries aren't dead. I'm going to pull these out before they do corrode. Be my luck. Don't leave these in there if you're going to leave them on the shelf like I do. I got lucky. Anyway, thank you, man. You read my mind. So the Duet comes with this controller only. So you have throttle and left, right, up, down. That's all you get on the Duet. But if you're looking for something easy to get into a kid's hand to fly, it's pretty self-explanatory. Up, down, left, right. That's all there is to it. You set this thing at about half throttle and say, leave that stick alone, and throw it, and they can fly this thing all day, super easy. And it does have a built-in 1S charger on it, so you can charge right off of this, or you can always buy one of the little dongles to plug into a computer to charge your 1S packs. It is Christmas. They're definitely still in stock. This isn't a hot mover, so you're going to easily be able to get one of these off of Amazon or from Horizon Hobby or Hobby Zone. Any of those places have these right now. Tower Hobbies, I looked on there, they still had them. But the Duet is a very simple airplane. There are no ailerons. There is no rudder. Just to give you a heads up, this is all flown off of differential thrust, and you do have an elevator. But the little guy actually flies really well. It has a gyro in it that helps stabilize this airplane. It flies pretty well in low wind. I would tell you not to try and fly this thing in like 20 mile an hour wind, but 5 to 6 mile an hour outside, you're going to be fine with this. If you had a gym to fly it in, you could fly it in there. But this is definitely an early morning, low wind condition airplane, but it's easy to put it, like I said, in a kid's hand and let them fly it. And it's designed in such a way that if it hits the ground, the prop doesn't hit. So you really don't ever tear these up unless you, really pile drive it. But you can see there, if it hits the ground, it protects the prop from getting hit. And, they really did design it well. It doesn't weigh anything. So as long as it's not a nosedive crash, it's probably going to be perfect when you go over there to get it. It does have wheels. I have never used them. I don't think Lori ever flew it with wheels.
Nope.
But it does have wheels. They just kind of pop in like this. If you wanted them, oops, or I can drop them and shoot them across the room. If I can pick it up one-handed. There we go. So the wheels just pop in like that. And now you got wheels. I put them in backwards. They go the other way, but you get it. They just pop in like that. Yeah, they go this way. But, like I said, there you go. So they go forward like that. 1S LiPo, just Velcros in for flying. Super easy. You get about a 10-minute flight out of the little guy. Flies forever. I bought these, I forget who it is. They got a little, they're black and gold, and they've got a shark on the front of them, the batteries. I can't remember the brand of them, but it was like $20 for 10 of them, and heck, you can fly all day on this little thing for that. So anyway,
Got like 10-minute flight time on those things.
if you're looking for a good one though for the kids, this is an awesome little airplane. Cheap, inexpensive, you're not going to go out and like wow the crowd with it or nothing. But if you're just wanting to get something into the kids' hands, it's a great airplane. And once again, it's a UMX style of airplane. This is the only one of the small airplanes that does not bind to a Spectrum radio. That is the one thing that I have to say that's bad against it. But this is the Hobby Zone Duet. Like I said, they're available everywhere. They're like 65 bucks. Anyway, we are zooming tonight. We're doing too much stuff. Anyway, the controller, I mean, it's a cheap, crappy thing, but, it's to be really cheap and inexpensive to get you into it. But this is one of the best cheap airplanes I have ever seen. I've seen a lot of people try and do the differential thrust and the one elevator without success. They suck and you can't fly them. But this one pulls it off and it actually flies really well. So, surprised on that. It was a nice surprise, but I said for $68, I forget exactly what it was, but I said for the price, I'll give it a shot. If it's good, awesome. If it's crap, whatever. But it was a great, when Lori first started out, she flew this thing every day almost. She could go out in the field right beside the house and fly it, no issues. It's small enough that this can definitely be flown in any kind of parks. They do give you a little storage spot right here for batteries also. So if you get the little 1S packs, they just go right in there. And they're dirt cheap. So, like I said, Christmas present, you're looking at a great one right here. Kids' first airplane. I mean, you can let them rock and roll with this. And it's pretty hard to crash it. Not going to say impossible, but it's pretty hard. But if you wanted to know, I hear a lot of people message me all the time, what's a first grade airplane? What's your suggestion? I've never flown anything. One of these would be a great choice. Super easy. Just be mindful not to fly it on a super windy day. I would say this is definitely an early morning or late in the evening when the wind is stopped and it's calm. Go out and get you a 10-minute flight with it. Super easy to fly. The Hobby Zone Champ is always a great choice also. If you want to see some funny videos, look back on Pilot Ryan's original videos, and he's done some with this airplane 6 years ago or 7 years ago, whatever it was. He reviewed this airplane with Mike, and it was hilarious to go back and watch those guys when they were getting started. That was one of the first planes they ever reviewed, if you haven't ever seen those old ones. So, I'm back. Let's do it, Lori. So, guys, let's talk about something else that got released this week. I've known they were coming for a while, but of course couldn't talk about it. Super stoked. The tanks are coming from Motion RC. There's a whole slew of them. You can get them with the metal running gear, or you can get them with the metal gearbox and plastic drivetrain. From what Alpha is saying in most of those videos, it seems like the plastic running gear with metal internals is the way to go. He says that they just drive better and you get a lot longer run time out of them. Excuse me, I got the hiccups right now. But man, they got a slew of them for us to choose for them, don't they? It's not like they brought out one. It was like, bam, we're going to do some tanks. So there you go. If you actually look at the pricing structure on it, they're very reasonably priced. I can't read them from here, but I've already been in there looking at them all. Yeah. Well, so what you want to look at on there is there's a pro version that's normally like $200, and then there's the upgraded but standard tracks that are like $140 something.
And here's a good one right here. There's the professional.
Right here.
$209 and the regular.
Yeah. So the professional model, what she's showing there for $209, you get the metal wheels and the metal tracks with the metal gearbox. Whereas the standard version, it's still an upgraded version, but you get metal gears on the inside, but you don't get metal running wheels and metal tracks. So crazy. I know we've been talking about them for a while, that it would be so much fun to have some tanks. Here they are. You can shoot BBs out of them. They've got smoke systems. They've got the IR sensors on top, so you can battle your buddies. If you hit each other 3 times, it kills their tank, and they're out of the game. So I can't wait to start reviewing them. They aren't even out for pre-order yet, but it's cool that they're up. If you haven't seen them, it's awesome. I can't wait to see what Motion does with them. I'm sure they're going to back them up with their same customer service we've all come to know and love. Awesome. What are your guys' thoughts? Are you excited for tanks? Are you, whatever, bring me more airplanes? What do you think? Yeah, they shoot BBs, Wreck-'em Roy. Isn't that so cool? Airsoft BBs, basically.
Pretty much.
And like I said, it's not like they brought out 2 of these. They brought out like 20 of them. And I mean, there you go. Lori's got the product page up for one. I mean, they're sweet. And there's a product video out for about half of them now. They're going to have some more. I've heard Draco's coming also, Wayne Lee. That's going to be from Horizon. I'm hoping it's a Carbon Z. I'm not in with Horizon, so I couldn't tell you anything if I wanted to. I have no clue. But from all the videos I've seen before Draco had its accidents, it looks like it's going to be awesome. Go to the Tiger 1. So I think Wesley is going to probably end up with a Tiger. That's what I really want, and I can't wait to get it and do all the old modeling techniques for tanks, like putting the mud on it.
The Tiger?
No, it's gray. Keep going down. I want that one. There's a gray one. There it is. Go to the non-professional one. It's right there, the gray one. Nope, right in the middle.
Oh.
That one. This is the one I want, guys. So if you want to know what the Boozer wants, there it is. The Tiger. It's it was always such an awesome tank. They didn't make a lot of them in World War II, but it was kind of the big tank, And then after watching Saving Private Ryan, the Tiger, and the guy gets blown off the top of it. Yeah, I've always wanted this tank if I were to buy a toy tank, so I want that one. It's crazy the amount of details they put into these little things. They've got, every little plastic detail under the moon on them. They're awesome, so I can't wait to customize and pimp out some tanks. That's going to be the most fun part to me, even if I don't drive them that much. Pimping them out and customizing it and having it sitting on the shelf, it's going to look so cool. So I hope you guys are as excited as I am for the tanks. I had to touch on it a little bit, Timothy Toutant, brother, I understand having an early morning. Thank you for spending your evening with us. Dings and holes in the armor, that's right. You could... The pimping out, there you go, you're seeing where Lori's got it on the screen there. It's got the BBs that you load into it, and then it's actually got an airsoft gun in it, so you can shoot stuff with it. So I'm pretty excited about that. It also has a little smoke system, so the exhaust actually smokes. It probably uses, what do they call that stuff? It's what vape juice is made out of. Glycerin, glycol, something. Anyway.
Glycerin-based exhaust effect.
There you go, glycerin-based exhaust effect. Now, I'm going to tell you that you can buy glycerin at Walmart. It's actually a hand cream. So, depending on what it costs, and if you can get it shipped to your area, they use it in model trains and a bunch of other stuff in our hobby for making those smoke systems, but they actually have glycerin at Walmart, and it's a hand cream. It's the exact same stuff they use in these smoke systems. Fog machines for Halloween, all that stuff. You can buy it at Walmart for like $3 for a big old bottle of it. So you might have to thin it with something, but FYI, for all those little smoke machines, all smoke machines use that same stuff. It's a glycerin. Your party folk smoke machines, all that stuff, it's glycerin. So anyway, I love trees. I live close to Fort Knox. I'm trying to read the comment section, man. It's just blowing by tonight. How many guys do we have in the chat tonight? I'm just curious.
I have no idea.
I had no idea either.
52.
52 guys in here. Hey, thank y'all all for coming and being part of the Merry Boozers channel. As always, we still try and bring y'all the best quality content we can. Pay it forward. Welcome back to the chat, brother. Michael Raja. Jeff's Custom RC. Guys, you are going to be seeing Jeff's Custom RC on the Boozer channel here in the near future. That is a promise. Jeff, we love you, brother. You're making great content, as always. Rahuffins. He used to always comment. So, a little funny story about him. It's funny. I'm getting to know a lot of you guys. Rahuffins13. I've never known how to say his name, but he used to always comment the second I put out a video. It was like, Boozer! It's super capitalized, and I'd always super capitalize, Rahuffins! Huffins. It was funny. Anyway, little
His
story
name is
there.
Randy Huffins.
Right. Well, I call him R. Huffins because that's what his name says.
Whoa.
Fred Barron. Holy cow. Guys. Thank you, Fred. Fred has a channel too, guys, if you haven't ever checked him out. I try and pop in and leave him comments from time to time. Hey, you know, most of the guys in these comments now are uploading videos, sharing with their buddies, and it's funny how many of you guys are getting to know each other and talk amongst each other throughout the week. And I get the comments that are like, did you see, you know, the Fred Barron's video this week? Did you see Victor Shamulus? He posts stuff every day too. You know, all these guys posting videos, hanging out. Oh, Papa Boozer, you'll get one. He's just being grumpy. Boozers! Exactly, just like that. If you want to know what, I get a comment almost every video. He used to do it every video. Edward and Gloria Nelson Hillbilly RC. Whew! Watching us from Tennessee. Love it, guys. Love it. They got some stickers, didn't they?
Yes.
I wonder if did you receive your stickers yet? As far as I know, everything shipped out from the giveaways.
Yes.
Right? Yeah, everything has shipped out, so just curious if you got it. I know Dennis Farley put up his pictures this week on Facebook and Instagram that he had received his patches, so that was awesome. Like I said, I know everybody should be getting their stickers anytime now if you haven't yet. Gooniac, did you see me take my Afterburner out a minute ago, or did you miss that part?
He was in there.
Alright, we're just making sure. Sitting right here, brother. We're getting ready to put her in. I gotta get the F-18 back from Kevin. We're gonna put it in, and we're gonna get that bad boy going for you. And Gooniac, I need to have you on the show also when we do your Afterburner. I have promised you that, and we need to get it happening, man. We'll figure it out in the very near future. I understand that it's Christmas right now for a lot of you guys, though. So, I'm trying to let everybody get through the holidays before we jam them all into the show here. GB, I always will have you on the show again, brother. Terror Dacity 44. I have not seen you before in here.
Pterodactyl.
Pterodactyl. You know how hard it is to read those little words from her? Pterodactyl 44. Never mind, I got it right. I have heard of you.
A few times.
I have heard of you. Never mind. I think y'all liked that pterodacity. What is that?
He is seeing tiny little words on a screen.
I'm looking at a TV over there and trying to read these little words. So give me a little break. Oh, I love it though. And I'm trying to just get everybody out here. Stefan Savoy. There we go. Got it. Good to see you. I've seen you in here before. Pilot Ryan Media. Who's that guy? I've never heard of him before.
Stranger.
Terry Dacity. Is that how it's spelled? Was I crazy reading that, or is that pterodactyl?
It's pterodactyl.
Oh, okay. Terry Day City. Just wing it. What's up, man? One of those days here as well. Well, guys, I hope y'all really enjoyed the Boozers tonight. We always try and bring you the best show we can. I think we got a lot out tonight between radios and this unboxing and whoa, I just broke it.
Oh, you broke it.
I didn't really break it. Anyway, I'm excited to see what the future holds for us. Be looking in the near future. We've got the Gooniac. We've got the Lightburner. We're going to be doing install videos on both. I want to compare them, contrast them, see it all. Fair, honest review as always. We're going to be having Jeff's Custom RC on the show in the near future. He's a buddy of ours. Go check out his channel. I'm sure most of you guys know who Jeff is, but he's a great guy. And he is definitely furthering the hobby, and he's getting close to 1,000 if I remember correctly. Jeff, how close are you? I think you're getting pretty close, aren't you? And I know Dave's RC is getting really close too. So let's make that happen. Let's make that guy's Christmas happen here. Jeff's Custom RC better get up there to 1,000. I'm going to look right now. He definitely deserves it. He is a great guy that puts out good quality videos. Although, let's see. He's at 608. Come on, guys. Hook up Jeff's Custom RC. He is a great guy that the Boozers really stand behind. I've been watching him since the very beginning that he started his channel. Anyway, it's great. Mitchell Farley, thank you so much, brother. I hope you're getting to enjoy that patch with your father. I'm glad the Farley clan got that. I really am. One of these days we're going to have to meet up. Anyway, it's crazy. Coming in late to me there. Almost didn't get to put you up there. Let's get him on the screen for a second. We got the super chat coming. Mitchell Farley. Thanks, brother. We really appreciate it. Fred Barron, we appreciate it also. Those super chats every week are why I'm getting to buy these. Because the Boozer does not make that much money in real life. But you guys are supporting us every week, and that's how we get to do these fun things. Airliner, I cannot wait for this to be done. We do plan on doing, I'm going to get this side finished, just to finish out figuring out how to put all the graphics on. We're going to flip it over and I'm going to film the other side because I have had a lot of requests on installing graphics. So that is coming up very soon. Anyway, guys, it's been real. It's been fun. Get out there and fly with your buddies. That's the #1 rule at the Merry Boozers channel. Flying with your friends is always better than flying with yourself. Let's get out of here. 5, 4, 3, 2. Hasta la vista, baby.